Hello, everyone. Welcome to my Boomer Buddies podcast, where we tell it like it was and is. Today, we're going to do a special edition. The subject is Halloween. My special guest, who actually grew up, I did see her around the block, is Nina Gagnon. Nina, welcome to my Boomer Buddies podcast. I know you watch most of the episodes. So good to have you on.
Hi. Oh, it's great to be here.
And one thing
This could
about
be a fun subject.
Oh, it is going to be a fun subject because we basically experience the same things a block away.
Mm-hmm.
We're a block away from each other, and
Right.
the things I talk about, the neighborhood that we grew up in has special meaning. We're Med Lakers, right? And
Yep.
it's got a meaning just to people that are from there. And we have basically the same experiences. I see behind you, you are a music fan, and you're also a
Yep.
fan of Halloween. I asked you on the show and you graciously accepted because you gave me an idea for a song to play for Halloween. And what
Okay.
was the song you wanted to play?
They're coming to take me away.
Yes. One thing I
Mhm.
remember about that song, Nina, is it was just a beat that just was pulsating. It was kind of gimmicky with echoes and all that. And it was a number 3
Yeah.
hit back in July of 1966. Well, let's listen to your request. They're coming to take me away. Ha ha.
All right.
Remember when you ran away and I got on my knees and begged you not to leave because I go berserk? Well, you left me anyhow, and then the days got worse and worse, and now you see I've gone completely out of my mind. And they're coming to take me away, ha-ha, they're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha, to the funny farm where life is beautiful all the time, and I'll be happy to see those nice young men in their clean white coats, and they're coming to take me away, ha-ha!
Nine, I'm going to stop it for just a second.
Okay.
And the reason I'm going to do that is because do you remember Alvin and the Chipmunks back in the day?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, he used the same recording technique. He did the rhythm and all that first in normal speed. And then what he did is when he got to the part where he sped up his voice like that, he sped up the tape. So it sounded
Okay.
chipmunky or like he's
Right.
going crazy. And his name was Jerry Samuels, and he went under the name Napoleon the 14th. So with that said, I'm going to get back into this, play the rest of the song, and just know that even though I'm going to interrupt some of these things we're doing here, I'll have down in the show notes the link so you can listen to the full song. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Is this triggering you yet? Are you okay?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's triggering you? Let's go.
Every bit.
You thought it was a joke, and so you laughed. You laughed when I had said that losing you would make me flip my lid. Right? You know you laughed. I heard you laugh. You laughed and then you left. But now you know I'm utterly mad. And they're coming to take me away, ha-ha. They're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha. To the happy home with trees and flowers and chirping birds and basket weavers who sit and smile and twiddle their thumbs and toes, and they're coming to take me away, ha-ha. I cooked your food, I cleaned your house, and this is how you pay me back for all my kind, unselfish, loving deeds. Ha? Well, you just wait. They'll find you yet, and when they do, they'll put you in the ASPCA, you mangy mutt. And they're coming to take me away, ha-ha. They're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha. To the funny farm where life is beautiful all the time, and I'll be happy to see those nice young men in their clean white coats, and they're coming to take me away, ha-ha. To the happy home with trees and flowers and chirping birds and basket weavers who sit and smile and twiddle their thumbs and toes, and they're coming to take me away, ha-ha. To the funny farm where life is beautiful all the time, and I'll be happy to see those nice young men in their clean white coats.
All right, Nina. What's your thoughts right now about it?
It's been a long time, yes. And I can remember when I was a kid trying to sing along to that. You ever try singing all that? You can't say all those words in one breath.
Well, even when you have the words on the screen, if you don't have the cadence
Yeah.
right, and you're not following me. Well, something interesting about this song, I mentioned that it was number 3 in the Billboard Hot 100 in July of 1966. It actually fell because a lot of people perceive this as being insensitive to the mentally ill. Well,
Mm.
this song is not about a woman, but it's about a dog. Remember the
It's amazing.
ASPCA, you mangy mutt, and
Right.
Jerry Samuels purposely put those lyrics in because he did not want to appear insensitive, but some people just didn't really understand or hear the words correctly. So, but still, it became an iconic novelty song that some people love and some people probably hate. And if you hated it, keep watching. We got other songs that I think you will like. Well, let's just wrap this up. They're Come to Take Me Away, haha. It's been redone by other artists over the years. Again, that was performed by Jerry Samuels, and he was billed as Napoleon the 14th. So
All
a
right.
boomer song from back in the day, 1966. Celebrating Halloween, now we're going to go to a classic song. When you think of Halloween and you think of dance songs, what do you think of, Nina?
Oh, the Monster Mash. Is that
Yes,
what you're
the
talking?
Monster Mash. And the Monster Mash was it was a graveyard smash. No, it hit number 1 in
Yeah.
1962, October, during the Halloween week of 1962. And when I think of Halloween, I got to hear that song.
Yeah. And I don't know if you did when I was a kid, when that was on the radio, we drew faces on our hands and on their fingers. So he
Oh,
was
did you?
singing, and this was the chorus. Up at the Cottrells, we used to do that a lot.
Oh, that's
That song
awesome.
came
Oh,
on.
those are some old neighbors of ours. So the songwriters were Bobby Boris Pickett. He was the one who sang it, and Lenny Capizzi.
Right.
Bobby Boris Pickett and the Crypt Kickers was the official band on that. The producer was Gary S. Paxton, and he did some other
Right.
great songs. And after 62 years, it's still a classic, a staple of Halloween. And in fact, it charted a couple times
Yeah.
after that through the years. So basically, it just keeps making money too. As of last year, the song was generating $1 million annually. Nina, how would you like to write
Wow.
just a goofy song and based on an old hit called The Mashed Potato? The footwork dance was the same as the mashed potato, but they
Yeah.
did monster arm
Right.
movements. So I don't know about you, Nina, but let's hear it. And it'll bring back some
Okay.
great memories. Here we go.
My eyes beheld an eerie sight, for my monster from his slab began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise,
he did the mash.
He did the monster mash.
The monster mash.
It was a graveyard smash.
He did the mash.
It caught on in a flash.
He did the mash.
He did the monster mash. From my laboratory in the castle east to the master bedroom where the vampires feast, the ghouls all came from their humble abode to get a jolt from my electrode.
They did the mash.
They did the monster mash.
The monster mash.
It was a graveyard smash.
They did the mash.
It caught on in a flash.
They did the mash.
They did the monster mash.
I'm going to pause it here, Nina.
Okay.
I just had a flash in my mind. He did this song, Bobby Boris Pickett, on Bandstand. You remember watching Bandstand? And he did all the impressions of Boris Karloff, and the song started by him just goofing around. He wanted to be an actor, and he was in a band and everything, and he just did a takeoff of some other song as Boris Karloff, and I think it was Lenny Capizzi saw that, and they ended up making this. It evolved into this song. So the Monster Mash is part of the fabric of us boomers, and here we are listening to it in 2024 Halloween season. So let's get back to it And again, if you want to hear the whole thing, it's in the link below. Nina, do you have anything you want to add?
I think it was just maybe a month or two ago I posted this on Facebook, the video of him singing this song. And the funny faces that he makes when he's singing it, you know.
And it's all in black and white. And
It's black and white, yep.
let me add something. YouTube is pretty cool because you can find just about anything. And I found him, it's kind of recent, where he did this at a fundraiser, and he still got into it. He still got into it, and they had some little kids in the background
Right.
doing the Monster Mash, and it's just part of the fabric, and I just love hearing it every year. So let's get back. I'll back it up just a hair, and let's join it again, Nina.
Okay.
Graveyard
They
smash,
did the mash.
it caught on in a flash.
They did the mash.
They did the monster mash. The zombies were having fun.
In a shoot ball.
The party had just begun.
In a shoot ball.
The guests included Wolfman, Dracula, and his son. The scene was rocking, all were digging the sounds. Igor on chains, backed by his baying hounds. The coffin bangers were about to arrive with their vocal group, the Crypt Kicker Five.
They played the mash.
They played the Monster Mash.
The monster mash.
It was a graveyard
They
smash.
played the mash.
It caught on in a flash.
They played the mash.
They played the Monster Mash. Out from his coffin, Drac's voice did ring. Seemed he was troubled by just one thing. Opened the lid and shook his fist and said, "Whatever happened to my Transylvania twist?"
It's now the mash.
It's now the Monster
The
Mash,
monster mash.
and it's a graveyard
It's now
smash.
the mash.
It's caught on in a flash.
It's now the mash.
It's now the Monster Mash. Now everything's cool, Drac's a part of the band, and my Monster Mash is the hit of the land. For you, the living, this mash was meant to. When you get to my door, tell them Boris said.
Then you can mash.
Then you can Monster
The
Mash
monster mash.
and do my graveyard
Then you
smash.
can mash.
You'll catch on in a flash.
Then you can mash.
Then you can Monster Mash.
Monster mash.
You in
Monster mash.
mash.
Monster mash. Monster mash. Monster mash.
Nina, that was
Yeah.
fun. It's
That
so
was.
catchy. And, what am I, 67 years old, and I'm sitting there enjoying it just like I was a little kid.
Yeah.
1962. It took us all the way back. The Monster Mash. Trick or
think-
treating is coming up. Let me
Yeah.
just ask you a Halloween question since it's a Halloween themed show here. Do you still pass out candy?
Oh, yeah. Yep, I
And
do.
Okay, do you do what I do, or you buy a bag of stuff that you really don't like and you hand that out first, and the good stuff you save for last?
No. I said buy everything we like because if you have leftovers, you got to eat it.
Well, that's
Oh, my
why I
God.
have the good stuff second bag. That's the backup bag,
Oh,
which you
okay.
probably don't get to, and then all the fruit roll-ups and stuff I don't like. I give
Right.
that. Okay, all right. Part 2 of my Boomer Buddies Halloween edition. I've got Nina Gagnon here, my old neighbor from back in the day, around the block. And we're going to touch now on a couple of TV shows. You might guess what they are, which has the monster and ghoul theme. And the first one we're going to talk about, the Munsters. What do
All
you
right.
recall about the Munsters, Nina?
I like the Munsters. The mom was my favorite 'cause I loved her long hair.
Yvonne DiCarlo played Lily Munster, and she was a vampire.
Yes.
And her dad was Grandpa,
Grandpa.
and he was a vampire, obviously. And it's interesting, the son, played by Butch Patrick, he was a werewolf. And you go,
Right.
okay, Herman Munster was man-made,
Frankenstein's monster.
Frankenstein. Yeah. And so how do you get a werewolf out of that? Well, according to what I found on the interweb, was Lily's brother was a werewolf.
Oh,
and that bloodline came down to
okay.
their son. And then
I never thought about that.
you know what? Weird people like me do. And yeah, so the lineage came from her Lily's brother, who was a werewolf, and he was in an episode, maybe two. And I got to get better at being a historian for that show. But I really liked the Munsters, and the theme song I liked because it was kind of a rock and surf beat. Maybe we'll do a little of this, but first let's talk about Marilyn. Marilyn, they didn't like to call attention to her unfortunate looks.
Right,
So
right.
she was technically the normal one, but it's pretty cool. We're gonna play the theme song. I think it's from the second season, where it was Pat Priest that they featured as Marilyn. The original Marilyn was Beverly Owen, and she was only in for 13 episodes because
Okay.
she fell in love and got married and left the
Oh,
show. So,
okay.
all right, let's go. Let's go to the Munsters, shall we? That was fun, and it brought up another thing. Butch Patrick as Eddie. In the first few shows, he did not have that widow's peak there. He
Oh,
looked a little bit more normal. He had on the little, traditional shorts and old school type of dress. Yeah, they added the widow's peak. We saw Al Lewis, who plays Grandpa, and Fred Gwynn, who plays
mm-hmm.
Herman. They were in a
Yep.
show a year or two before that and had really good chemistry. The show was called Car 54. Where are you?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So there we go. The Munsters.
All
And
right.
that show ran from September 24th of 1964 to May 12th, 1966, and it had 70
Oh,
episodes. I really enjoyed the character of Grandpa. He was naughty and he's always in the lab trying to do things bad,
yes.
and he just was funny to me. The character Grandpa was played by Al Lewis, like I mentioned, and he loved being typecast as Grandpa. In fact, he'd make appearances all over the country, and he made money off of that character through the years, and just embraced it too.
And how about the stairs that opened up for Spot, their
Spot,
pet?
the pet dragon.
Yeah.
Good, Nina. Yeah, I'll talk more about the Munsters after we do the next TV show theme, and you can probably guess, everybody, what it is. And let's cue that up right now, Nina, and we'll get your reaction to it. Here we go.
Okay.
Meat, sweet, teeth.
All right,
Awesome.
Nina, what did you think of that? Awesome.
When that came on, even the show came on, you had to
Oh
snap your
yeah,
fingers. You couldn't just sit there and watch. You had to
it's
snap
involuntary
along.
movement. You have to do it.
Exactly.
Now, the Addams Family was an interesting show. It was created by Charles Addams. He had a magazine and cartoon that he did. And the Addams Family theme that is so addictive, that was composed and sung by Vic Mizzy. And boy, what a goldmine that must have been for him. Now, the Addams Family was more macabre, kind of ghoulish, and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people think the Munsters and the Addams Family were interchangeable, but they were actually pretty different. And
Yeah.
the guy that played Gomez, John Aston, I think he said it pretty well, Nina. He said, the shows were fundamentally different. The Munsters were physically monsters, but completely normal in everyday respect. Whereas the Addamses were normal looking for the most part, except for some of the characters they brought in, but it was highly eccentric. And besides this, the general public perceived the two shows as virtually interchangeable. Now, who was the favorite character for you on the Addams Family, Nina? Let's start with
Mine was, although I liked Thing a lot, was Cousin It.
you. Like Cousin It,
Yeah, I did.
head to toe, hair all the way
Hair,
down,
yep. And the
sunglasses
glasses.
and a bowler hat, and spoke gibberish, and everybody in the family understood him.
Exactly.
And they had to put subtitles in there. But did you know that Thing? You know, like the hand.
Uh-huh.
Whenever Ted Cassidy, who played Lurch, wasn't in the scene, that was his hand.
Oh, okay.
And
Interesting.
that was pretty cool. My favorite character was Lurch.
Okay.
And there was even a hit song back in the mid 60s called The Lurch, a dance. He actually appeared in character to promote that. And the Munsters and the Addams Family, if you compare the two, who would you pick?
Oh boy. That's a good question. Maybe the Addams Family. Just a little more quirkier.
You like the eccentricity of the Addams Family?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty funny because Lily on the Munsters, she was very motherly and everything. And then you had Carolyn Jones, Morticia on the
Yes.
Addams Family, and she has a vase full of, or vase, who am I kidding? I'm a meddling. A vase, and she was clipping the heads off the roses just to rearrange the
Right.
stems with the thorns.
Yes.
That's eccentric, and that's
I
something you
know.
like, right, Nina?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just crazy. And then Gomez was a retired lawyer or whatever, but rich, and he got excited
Very.
losing money on the stock market,
Does
but
the
he
stock
never,
market ever? Yep.
and he never seemed to get tired of losing money because there's always more, and that was quirky.
Yeah.
That's quirky.
Oh well.
And Lurch, whenever there was a guest, they were always just wide-eyed, afraid, and he would take his hand and just grab the hat and crush it and take it. That was always
Right.
a running gag on there. That was a great show. And I'd have to say, if you ask me, Nina, which I preferred, I would say the Munsters. And the reason I like the Munsters is I really like surf music back in the day, you know,
Okay.
and I like the theme song a lot. Even though the Addams Family song is iconic and catchy, there's something about being a young boy and they had the different vehicles, you know,
Ah.
the cars were made out of coffins, and
Right.
the cars and just the regularness of that family, the storylines I could relate to more, you know, because they'd have baseball. Herman would get a baseball uniform on and go out and do things. Herman was pretty funny, but I preferred the Munsters. But Nina, as I grew older and I'd watch some of the reruns, it's like
Yeah.
the Addams Family had some stuff that adults could appreciate, you know, that kind of went
Yeah.
over the kids' heads, and I really liked it. And of course, Lily and Morticia both were beautiful, and the goofiness of Fred Gwynn playing Herman Munster as the
Hmm.
season, the second season started. He started making more goofy faces and not look as monsterish, and that was by design. And then also Butch Patrick, he was not the original choice to play Eddie. The original Eddie came off as a spoiled little brat. And so Eddie was more respectful. And
Wow.
and Nina, it was cool that Eddie, his bed was basically, they'd pulled out a dresser drawer and he slept in
Yeah.
there,
Right.
a little werewolf boy. So again, let's just kind of recap what we saw and listened to today. We saw and listen to They're Coming to Take Me Away. That was your request, Nina. And I don't know why that popped into your head. If you remember, let me know.
Well, my brother used to have the album. And I remember when it came on the radio, and it was always on the radio when it came out. It just always stuck. I remember trying to sing to it, and it's like, you couldn't say all those words in the verse in one breath. It's like, is it just because I'm a kid and I can't do it? Or
The one thing we could remember, Nina, as kids was They're Coming to Take Me Away. Ha ha, hee hee. And that was enough. And the beat was catchy. And hopefully the
exactly.
viewers and listeners out there appreciated hearing that. If we triggered you, too bad. It's Halloween, man. We're having fun here. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that. And did you know, Nina, the flip side of that, the name of the song is basically just They're Coming to Take Me Away, haha, printed backwards. And the
Oh.
actual song itself is just played backwards on the B-side.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That
And then
is.
the other song, of course, is the iconic Monster Mash. This being Halloween, when we play this, it'll be the run-up week to Halloween, and you'll hear it everywhere. And hopefully, you'll tap your toe, and you might get sick of it after a while. But yeah, I love hearing it.
No,
It's Halloween.
never did.
Never did. And then also we covered a couple of Halloweenish type of TV shows from back in the mid 60s. The Munsters ran from 64 to 66, 70 episodes. The Addams Family also ran about the same time on a different network. They ran from September of 64 to April of 66. And I think they had 64 episodes. They've been in syndication ever since. The Addams Family also, that's been made into movies as well, and the Munsters too. But I never liked that. It's just like when they make remakes of old classic TV shows. It takes me a while to warm up if I don't at all, like Hawaii Five-O and SWAT.
Oh, I like that.
Can't they come up with an original idea? Magnum PI, they redid that. And granted, I ended up watching it and enjoying it, but it's like maybe that's the boomer in me. It's like, leave my past alone.
Right. Some things are not meant to be redone.
Correct. And Nina, hopefully you had fun having this conversation with me here and recapping all this Halloween type of songs and TV shows. And if you have any ideas out there, viewers and listeners, do what Nina did. Send me a message and saying, hey, I want to hear you cover this. And if you're interested in coming on like Nina, congratulations, Nina. You did great today. And thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. And
it's been fun.
You're welcome to do that. You can also, if you're listening on Spotify, Google, Buzzsprout, the audio platforms, send me an email, myboomerbuddies4, that's the number 4, at gmail.com, myboomerbuddies4 at gmail.com. And I'll make sure that I forward any comments you have relating to this show or any others. I'll forward them on to people that were guests at that time. And please like, share, subscribe on YouTube. Really helps the algorithms. Nina, I know you get alerted to the shows and you're a faithful watcher. And thanks for coming on. And let me just ask you while I have you here, what brings you to keep viewing these podcasts, the content on My Boomer Buddies podcast?
First, because I know you.
Good. And despite that,
well, I cannot not.
Yeah.
Going to your house growing up, how can you not watch you? Yeah, it's fun. You cover a lot of subjects that I hold dear in my heart. Of course, I love music.
Yeah, I can see that in the background. And we will do more music. We'll do more TV shows and things like that. And I do like to cover history too. And so we may do some episodes on that. If you have anything, go ahead and comment below on YouTube or email me whatever content you may want to hear or listen to. And we do appreciate you watching My Boomer Buddies podcast, especially this Halloween one. Nina, thank you so much for being on. If you have anything else you want to say, now's the time to say it.
Well, thank you, Rick. I enjoyed this a lot. This is going to be fun to watch. And now my kids will be watching it also.
Good. Tell them to spread it all over. Share. So
I will.
On behalf of Nina Gagnon, I'm Rick Reed for My Boomer Buddies podcast. Until next time, we'll see you
Around the block.
all right.